How are you? This is Lois. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're well and safe wherever you are. On this very hot day, I want to help you as a newcomer. Are you coming to Canada? It doesn't matter whether you're coming here as a student, whether you're coming to visit, whether you're coming to school, whether you're coming to work, or whether you are immigrating here. You will want to hear these 16 things that I want you to take care of today. You need to know before you board that plane to Canada. Okay? 16 things. And I'll be real quick anyway. I'll try. Okay, my name is Lois. I am a regulated Canadian immigration consultant and I'm based here in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. I offer you advice on Canadian immigration. I also offer Canadian immigration applications. Anything, please head on to my website www.mileleimmigrationservices.ca. If you need my personal help, my friend, you gotta book a consultation. Okay, I don't answer phones. I don't respond to WhatsApp messages. You need my services, book a consultation. I'll be happy to meet you. Okay, if you don't want to do that, keep it here because this channel has a lot of free goodies, free information. Okay, my friend, before you board that flight to Canada tomorrow, because I know a lot of you are coming, conferences have resumed. Yes, the borders are open. Yes, you're visiting. Yes, which is a good thing. I'm seeing a lot of new faces here in Canada. People are landing now as permanent residents. So there's an influx of newcomers to Canada. And my friend, I am seeing a few things that I'm like, oh my goodness, I wish someone told you, and that person is me. Okay, number one, before you leave for Canada, money. You will need to bring money to Canada, and especially let me first talk about maybe you're visiting. If you're visiting, what kind of money do you want to bring? Some people ask me, so Lois, what do I bring? Should I bring American dollars? Should I bring Kenya shillings? Should I bring nairas? Should I bring my rands? Or should I bring Canadian dollars? My friend, if at all possible, when you're coming to Canada, look for Canadian dollars. And I know Canadian dollars are not always available in all countries. Okay, they are not readily available at the forex bureaus, at some banks. But if you can get, the most ideal thing is bring Canadian dollars. Okay, Canadian dollars, the highest denomination we have here is $100. That's the highest denomination, so you can bring that. We also have $50, we have 20. So for notes, we have 100, we have 50, we have 20, we have 10, and we have a 5. Outside of that, we have coins. Under 5, we have coins. We have a toonie, and then we have a loonie, and then we have a quarter, and then we have pennies. Okay, so these are the most popular ones. The most popular coins are toonie, that is $2, and a loonie is $1, and a quarter is a quarter of a dollar, 25 cents. Okay, guys, usually people don't use cash a lot, but you may want to bring of course you may want to bring notes. So get notes of 20s or 100s or 50 if they are available where you are. Okay, if you can't get Canadian dollars, it's also in your best interest to have some American dollars. And I will tell you at times why you need American dollars, because let's say you're transiting through Europe, wherever you're transiting, you're not going to be able to pay by what do we call it, by Canadian dollars. But like some airports, they do take American dollars. Yes, so American dollars are universal, so you find that some places you can pay by American dollars. If not, bring your credit cards, my friends. Yes, your Visas, your MasterCards, you can bring those because you can always shop with your credit cards, whether you are at a different airport or even here in Canada. And when I'm still on the issue of money, here when you're paying by card, you can either tap. Yes, you can just tap, or you can just insert it and punch in your PIN number. Okay, that is number one. Number two, weather. Oh my gosh, I keep mentioning weather. Here, check the weather before you come. Check the weather 1 month in advance. Check the weather 2 days before you come, and dress and pack for the weather. Okay, because of the seasons here, you don't want to show up here dressed like this in the middle of winter. Okay, so dress something warm. You also don't want to show up, because I know a lot of you have heard that Canada is dead cold. Today, if I show up like this, the way I am dressed outside, I'll be melting. It's 30 degrees. There's a heat wave warning right now. I cannot leave my house because of just how hot it is outside. So check the weather. Okay. Number 3, identification card. My friend, pack your ID. And what is considered ID in Canada? A driving license is considered as an ID, or your passport is considered as an ID. Of course, you do not want to go around carrying your passport, because if you carry your passport and you misplace it, assuming you're just showing your passport everywhere, so some places they may need you to show an ID, and you keep showing up your passport, you're gonna forget it and leave it on the counter, and that is how you're gonna be stuck in this country. You can't go home because you misused your passport. So make sure you have another identification, just not your passport. There are places for your passport, like government offices, but then you can always get by showing your driving license. A driving license is considered a license in this country. Okay, you also need to know that there are some things you won't be able to buy without an ID, especially if you look young. You may not be able to purchase alcohol or smokes without an ID in some liquor stores. So you could be asked for an identification. If you're also going to some clubs may actually ask. If you're going for dinner in some restaurants and they serve alcohol, they may ask for you to show your ID. So always make sure that you have an ID, a government issued ID. Okay. Yes, students, when you're here as a student, please make sure that you apply for an ID here, just so that you're not carrying your passport. Again, I said, if you lose your passport, you could be in some serious jam. Also, when it comes to that ID, make sure your ID has an emergency number attached to it. Okay, have an ID that can easily identify you, because you know what, people, you can get into an emergency. You could faint. If you land in Calgary today and you faint at the airport, who will know who you are? So always make sure you carry an ID that actually has a number, an emergency number that can be reached out, something that can identify you. I've heard cases of people, like parents, coming and getting lost at airports in the US. So please, you don't want to do that. So make sure that there's an emergency number, and especially that emergency number, put a number of someone who is in Canada, who can be reached here. Please don't have an emergency number of someone who is in Kikuyu in Kenya, who can't even be reached in case of an emergency. So put a Canadian contact. Most likely, if you're coming to visit someone, someone, have a Canadian contact. Okay. Number 4. Oh my gosh. Number 4. If you're coming, of course, you're going to bring your gadgets. Yes, phone. We all need these phones. But these damn little things run out of charge. Yes, they run out of charge. And I just want to show you the Canadian chargers are different. Like these chargers, they are not the same chargers that are going to work in Kenya. So you find that if you bring your charger from Kenya, that charger most likely is not going to be compatible with our electronic ports here in Canada. So make sure you bring an adapter. Okay, always make sure you bring an adapter. You may also bring the USB chargers if your phone has those USBs. So these ones are kind of becoming universal. You can also bring those USB chargers. Okay, but make sure you bring an adapter. An adapter is something you do not want to miss in your bag. Okay. Okay, number 5. Back to phones. Once you leave your country, okay, the moment you leave your country, you now enter Canada. You don't have a Canadian carrier. Okay, you don't have a Canadian cell phone provider. So you realize that you can't call on your phone. So what are you going to do? My friend, take advantage of Wi-Fi in this country, and not just in this country. Like I've seen, like places like Amsterdam, a lot of airports these days, they have free Wi-Fi. please take advantage of free Wi-Fi, because you want to reach out, you want to let people that you're coming. You can always get Wi-Fi, just log in into like a Starbucks Wi-Fi. If you're at an airport, go to the Starbucks, get the Starbucks Wi-Fi and log in, and register and let your people know that, you know what, we're just about to board our flight in Amsterdam, and our flight is 9 hours. We should be landing at this time, or our flight was delayed. I'm telling you, these days flights are getting delayed every day, so you want to make sure that you keep people updated of what's happening to you. Okay, the same thing, once you land in Canada, Wi-Fi here is in plenty and it's free, so you can always go to a restaurant. If you want to call someone, you can always at the airport, there's going to be free Wi-Fi. Make sure you log in into that Wi-Fi to let people know that you're here. They can come pick you up so that you don't get stranded, because you can't call, okay? And you don't want to look stranded, especially to immigration officers. You do not want to look stranded. If they figure out that you don't have anybody, you could be you could be returned home. If you don't know where you're going, you could be on your way back home. So make sure you have Wi-Fi. Look for connectivity, just so that you can always call someone or let someone know that you've arrived. Okay, so, and not just at the airports, even in restaurants, I find people like they're looking for addresses. They have their phone numbers from home country. Always go look for a restaurant. There's always gonna be open Wi-Fi. Please log in into that. Of course, you have to take precaution on the open Wi-Fi's that you're accessing. Don't say that I said you access open Wi-Fi's, but most of the restaurants have free Wi-Fi's. Even malls here, they have free Wi-Fi's. Okay. And now, after that, the other most important thing you want to have before you leave home, confirm address of where you are coming. And not just address, my friend, there's a reason I'm saying this. Addresses, when you're coming to Canada, addresses contain like the street number, the house number, and there's something important called the postal code. The postal code. So you should always know the postal code. And addresses here can be a little confusing because we have quadrants. If you're coming to Calgary, you could find that there's an address that says something Boulevard. Okay, you could be going to an address on McKnight Boulevard Northeast. There could also McKnight Boulevard Northwest. Okay, so always make sure you know which quadrant you're coming to: southeast, southwest, northwest, south, wherever. Make sure you know, otherwise you could end up in the wrong address in the wrong quadrant. Okay, my friend? Okay. Number 7. Okay, number 7, driving license. Let's go back to that driving license. You can, if you drive in your home country, you can always bring your driving license here, especially if you're planning to drive. Depending on where you're coming from, you can actually drive with your license in Canada for up to 6 months, depending on the province. So know the rules of the province that you're coming to and the provisions of you being able to utilize your driving license from your country, and then you can actually be able to drive in this country. Okay. Number 8, languages. Language, what do I mean with languages? Canada has 2 main languages, English and French. It's bilingual. Okay. Now, one thing I want you to know, and especially for people who speak French, okay, as much as Canada is bilingual, 90% of Canada speaks English. Okay, only people who live in French speaking provinces like Quebec speak full French throughout. Everybody else, you come here in Calgary and start speaking in French, and my friend, you're gonna be speaking to yourself. Of course, don't get me wrong, because I know I've told you that you actually need French to come to Canada. There's a difference between the French as a language for immigration and French as a language of communication in Canada. If you want to be employed by the government, being bilingual helps. In government offices, yes, you will be expected to be bilingual because you are front facing to the entire Canada. You need to be bilingual. When you're conversing with me at Superstore and you start speaking French here, my friend, you're gonna be stranded. Not everybody here speaks French. Actually, very few people, even who are born in Canada, speak French. But places like Quebec, people speak French. or areas near Quebec. So if you're going to a major city like Montreal in Quebec, of course, you're also going to find that even in places like Montreal, a lot of people speak English, but then there's a lot of people who also speak French. Outside of Montreal, places like Ottawa is in Ontario, but then it's at the border between Quebec and Ontario. You find that there are people who speak French and others who speak English, but outside of those areas, everywhere else in Canada, most of Canadian places, you're speaking English. Okay. Oh my gosh. Number 9. Dressing. My people. Gosh, especially Africans, my dear Africans, and I love you. Like, I love you. But let me tell you, here in Canada, we dress casually. Yes, like casual, serious casual. You know, I can always single out a newcomer or a visitor in Canada because you guys show up in suits and ties. You know, you look like you're going to meet the president, which is good because that's how you guys dress up back home. I still remember how I used to dress up back home. But I'm telling you, all the clothes that I brought from Kenya, I've never worn them to wear to work. I put on a suit to go to work. Come on, people gonna be like, are you okay? Like, what's happening? Like, you going for a wedding? They'd be like, are you going for a wedding after work today? Like, why are you dressed up? Like, they don't even expect you to dress up for after, you know. They expect that, you know, you can always dress casually and you can go home and change. People bring a change of clothes if they have something to dress up for in the evening. But here, yes, it's common to see people coming to work in shorts, just casually like this. You know, if I dressed like this to go to work, come on. Like, people be like, oh, you're going for a party? There's an event. Like, yeah, because we just dress casually. People here just put on, you know, sneakers. Oh, you know, people put on sneakers most of the time, flats, joggers or sweatpants, and hoodies and, you know, stuff like that. Like, even very rich people here, for some reason, people just, you know, it's very hard to know here who has money based on how people dress. Where I come from, you can always know people by, you know, their social class and status, by just how good they look. No. You see this look? This is just for this video. No, this is just for the video. Okay, guys? Yeah. Number 10. I want you to note something about taxes. Yes, I know you're a newcomer and you don't have any tax obligations in this country, but I'm telling you, you will pay tax. Even if you just land today, you're going to pay tax in this country. How do I want to address the issue of tax here? When you go shopping, the prices you see out there, if they tell you that this phone is $100, if they say this phone is $100, my friend, there's gonna be 5% tax if you're in Alberta. It depends on the province. Some provinces have higher taxes. So this phone could be 100, but there's going to be GST on top of it. They are not gonna quote GST. So it's gonna be labeled 100. It's until you get to the cashier, you realize, oh, it's 105. And you're there asking the cashier why they're ripping you off. No, they're not ripping you off. They're not trying to steal from you. You buy a laptop that is 2,000. And then you get to the till, you're going to pay for it, my friend, and that's when they tell you, oh yeah, they start plus tax. Okay? At times you even have to pay for recycling, depending on what it is. You're going to buy water, okay? If you buy water in a plastic bottle, you're going to pay tax, and then you're going to pay recycling fee. So you realize that maybe that water bottle, that bottle of water was like $1. But you're going to buy it for $1.50 because of recycling, because of taxes and stuff like that. So always know that taxes here are extra, and they also vary by provinces. Some provinces you're going to pay through the nose for those taxes. Okay? Gosh, I want to say this and I want to be so nice because Kenyans are going to kill me. Bathrooms. Bathrooms. In this country, bathrooms are everywhere. Yes, and they are free, and there's water running, and there's soap, and there's tissue. There is tissue, and there's water, and there is soap in bathrooms, and not just two bathrooms whereby you have to line up. There's lots and lots and lots of bathrooms, whether it's at malls. You know, I'm saying this because last time I came to Sarit Center and I didn't know that I actually needed to have tissue, and I do not want to tell you that I had to rush to Textbook Center to buy tissue to come. Sorry, but I gotta say that. So anyway, that's a good thing here because you don't have to worry about carrying tissue with you. So please, people, stop packing tissue. You're not gonna need it. Okay. Number 12. I want to go back to languages. Your language, depending on where you come from. So whenever you come to the airport in Canada, now I'm talking about a Canadian airport. When you are at a Canadian airport and you can't speak English or French, don't you worry. Because if you go to the immigration office, they can always get you a translator. So if you don't understand what they're telling you, always ask for a translator. There's lots and lots of translators. Canada is a diverse country, and Canadians here, most of us are immigrants, so lots of languages are going to be available. There's a lot of people who have signed up for translations. So if you only speak Kikuyu, I'm telling you, at the airport, if you go to the immigration office, you can be helped by a Kikuyu translator. I'm talking about immigration. Like if you're going through immigration and you can't understand English, always ask for a translator. They're going to work hard to get you a translator. Okay, so that's a good thing. Okay, now number 13. I'm almost finishing. Number 13, insurance. Okay, people, insurance. Before you leave home, please carry some extra insurance. Why am I saying carry some extra insurance? Make sure always you are insured. Have travel insurance that can cater for emergencies in Canada, because you do not want to come here and sleep and fall during winter or faint during this heat and you have to go to hospital and you don't have insurance. Okay, always make sure you have travel insurance, sufficient travel insurance when you come in. Okay, number 14. Oh my goodness, this is my favorite because I fell victim of this. Daylight hours. Yes, Canada is crazy depending on the season. In winter here, like here in Calgary, during winter, 8 a.m. it's still dark outside, and 8 a.m. you're supposed to be at work, so you can't stay home until it's daylight, because it's gonna be daylight at 8:30. So you're going to realize that if you need to be somewhere at 8 in winter, be ready to arrive at your destination when it's still dark in the morning. If you have to leave, you be somewhere also in the evening at 5. If you're going for an evening appointment at 5 during winter, it's also gonna be dark, because darkness at times comes as early as 4 p.m. depending on where you are, especially here in Calgary. Okay, and other cities are the same. So in summertime, like this time, my dear friend, right now it's actually 7 p.m. and it looks like it's midday. The sun is out and it's hot. So you're going to find that if you're deceived by daylight, one day I found myself going to Walmart because I didn't know that it was already 11 p.m. because there was still sunlight outside. So I went to Walmart, but it was closed, and I was there banging and pulling doors. So no daylight hours of every season. Okay, in summertime we have long days, short nights. In winter we have short days, long nights. Okay, number 15. Police in this country. Police in this country are your friends, and I say this with confidence. I know there are exceptionals, but I'm telling you this with confidence. Police here are your friends. If you're lost, you better first ask the police officer. If you find yourself stranded, if you're in some kind of a jam, if you don't know where you are, please always talk to the police. If there's a policeman, do not fear the police here. Police here, they are approachable, and now we have a lot of immigrant police, so they kind of understand the culture shock that you may be going through depending on where you're coming from, so you can always approach the police and seek for help. I have been taken home by a police. Yes, I was once stranded and it was cold, and I was given a ride by a cop in a police car. It happens like that because you could be risking hypothermia out there. So police is your friend in case you're stranded. Okay, last but not least, weed. Mary Jane, marijuana is legal in Canada. Yes. Now people smoke weed here, and we have weed stores. So once you come here, stop looking at us like Christians and everybody else. And there's nothing wrong about being a Christian and having weed, but I'm just saying I'm a Christian, and there's a certain way we look at people when they do stuff. Okay, so weed is legal here. Of course, people don't smoke in public. There are places just like cigarettes, but yes, it's legal. You're also welcome to have a puff if that if that interests you. And at every shopping center these days you're gonna find a weed store. Okay guys, so I hope you're getting ready to come visit Canada, or you're coming here to Canada for the first time, and I hope these 16 things that I put together are going to help you. If you need any help with immigration, please book a consultation with me. Thank you, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.